Today on the Daily Dose, Martin Luther King Jr. Born into a family of distinguished pastors at the Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Martin Luther King Jr. attended segregated public schools in Georgia before receiving his BA from predominantly Black Morehouse College. He then went on to attend the predominantly white Crozer Theological Seminary in Pennsylvania, where he was elected class president before winning a fellowship that enabled him to pursue his doctorate at Boston University. In Boston, he met and married Coretta Scott, raising 2 sons and 2 daughters, as Martin Luther pursued his preaching career at Ebenezer Baptist and the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama. By age 35, Martin Luther had already won the Nobel Prize for Peace. Martin Luther soon became one of the leading figures in the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s, spearheading the 328-day Montgomery bus boycott after Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white bus passenger on December 1, 1955. For his very public activism in Montgomery, Martin Luther was arrested over 20 times during his activist career before his home was bombed by white haters, and despite endless threats to his life, Martin Luther would propel the civil rights movement with his gifts behind the pulpit.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
As head of the Southern Christian Leadership Council, Martin Luther would go on to lead numerous civil rights campaigns and marches, including the March on Washington, the Birmingham campaign, as well as violence-riddled marches on Selma and Montgomery. He also led the Chicago open housing movement, the Memphis sanitation worker strike, and the Poor People's Campaign, authoring 5 books in between traveling over 6 million miles from 1957 to 1968, delivering no less than 2,500 speeches in support of equal rights. Many historians believe that Martin Luther's open criticism of America's participation in the Vietnam War split his message as a civil rights leader, leading to the rise of a different sort of black activists, such as Malcolm X, who opposed King's adherence to Gandhi-style nonviolent protest techniques. On April 4, 1968, after delivering one of the most powerful speeches of his life to the Memphis sanitation workers the night before, Martin Luther's life was unjustly taken at the Lorraine Hotel in Memphis, as he and others were leaving for dinner, felled before his time by assassin James Earl Ray. And there you have it, the activist life of Martin Luther King Jr. Today on the Daily Dose. Get your nerd on with the Daily Dose. And if you enjoyed today's episode, share the link with a friend or colleague so that they too can learn something new every day.